Well, welcome back to Torquay and welcome back to round 5 of the Summer of Surf. We've already seen the Iron Woman event and a bit of an upset with one of the young guns claiming the victory. Will we see another upset here in the Ironman final?
Anything can happen in surf, Josh. It's likely that someone might pop up today that's never won it before.
We've got a couple of guys we haven't seen in the Summer of Surf so far. Tommy Hayett, the local from Seacliff. A couple of the boys from Perth. Jack Martin there from South Australia, Glenelg. Andrew Murphy, former Tasmanian, now on the Gold Coast. They're coming from far and wide to be involved in the best summer of surf racing we've ever seen, and it's a massive field. Hayden White, one to watch from Currumbin, as is Alex Wright from Alexandra Headland there, and the two boys from West Beach round us out in a huge field of 36. The runs start, they're packed across the start line there, but this run will certainly shake things up a little bit, and the boys are off and away. Same order as the women: swim, ski, board. I'm in commentary with Jack Hansen, former winner of the race, and out in front is that James Lacey. They're absolutely flying from Mermaid Beach. A couple of his rivals taking it a little bit slower than he is, trying to build into the race.
James Lacey like a steam train across that soft sand. I think it was Jackson Maynard there with him, so he's certainly another to keep an eye on in this endurance race.
A couple of the back markers trying to work their way into it. It looked like Hayden Allen there, so our last round winner from Thirroul, definitely not going out too hard. He is in the blue cap with the red stripe on the top of Wanda. Expect a big performance from him today, as will Hayden White, as will Beau Wheeler, Mitchell Allen as well, Jackson Maynard, Dane Farrell. All the names we've seen at the top end of the Summer of Surf so far this year. They're all vying for points. They all want to finish on top.
Yeah, these boys have worked really hard in the off-season to get themselves to where they are today. This is where it matters. This is where it counts. They're racing for their positions at the front end of this Ironman race.
And interestingly, at this point, we're over the halfway mark of the series. So if you're not in form now, you've done something drastically wrong. And Jackson Maynard is definitely somebody in form. The green and white cap of Currumbin there on his hip. It looks like Jay Finesse. So one of the men who has been up in the mix every round of the Summer of Surf. He got a bronze back at Alexandra Headland there, and he's been close in a few others. But have a look at the crash and bash of the pack. They're all over each other. TJ Hendy's there. James Lacey seems to have slowed just a little bit after that run leg. Dan Collins is going up and under that wave there. So junior Ironman world champion, expect big things from him. Can we see another young gun claim a win?
It'd be great to see another young gun here today, and a wave out the back. So there's going to be a few on it here, Josh. I think we've got 8. So 8 guys down this front wave. They're going to open up a huge gap on those chasers.
We saw whoever led through the opening leg in the women's race seem to go on with it a lot. There's one off the back. That's a Currumbin cap who's gone off the back. It might be Jackson Maynard, so that is not what you want. And the rest of the field has held it almost all the way to the beach. So what about that one? It looks like Dan Collins will stand up from the Redhead Club. We went there and contested the Summer of Surf, but it's Hayden Allen out in front from the Wanda Club, our last round winner. So he seemed to have hit a little purple patch of form in the middle of the summer, and he will lead after the opening leg. But it's a slow pace at the moment. It looks like Hayden White's there, Jay Finesse is there, James Lacey and Dan Collins. The rest of the pack chasing hard. Beau Wheeler, Jackson Maynard, that small mistake didn't make too much of a difference. And the potholes claim another victim. The pothole himself, Hayden White, goes down. As the boys head out to sea at the moment, there is definitely a pack of 8.
The boys are certainly having a bit of trouble here negotiating these potholes. We see them running down to the right-hand side of the beach. What they're doing, a permanent little rip that sucks out there over the rocks, out towards the point. They're going to try and use that to their advantage.
A little bit of local knowledge could come into play. A few of these boys have been here in the past. The Newport pair head around and work their way back out to sea at the moment. That looks like Jake Reese in there. Alex Wright trying to get back in the race, as is Tannen Linden, the black cap with the yellow and green stripe. He's a lot further back than we would have expected at the moment. Nick Green, former Australian junior Ironman champion, going around, as is Max Brooks. So some of the big names in the field are a long way down after only one leg. They're going to need a big one to get back into this.
Oh, they've left themselves with plenty of work to do, and we're on our way home with the leaders. There's boys, I think there's another 6 on that front little wave, but it will die out. So these boys are still going to have plenty of work to do. Jay Finesse on the left-hand side has milked that very well. I think Hayden Allen as well has made the most out of that one, Josh.
Great performance there. Jay Finesse is out in front. That's the sky blue cap of Manly. And it looks like on the left-hand side, that's Hayden Allen and Mitchell Allen, who just jumped onto the wave there. Both the blue caps, black and red stripes on the top. So cousins from the Wanda Club, training partners and hecklers. They love racing each other. They love going head-to-head. And they're two of the breakout performers. They've been around a long time, but they're really having a summer to remember at the moment. Hayden Allen, he won at Thirroul in massive conditions. He's showing it's not a fluke. Oh, as he goes down. Oh, someone in the crowd's giving him one, and he has gone down, but he's up and continuing on. So that's how tough these conditions are. Even the best of the business go down every now and again. So it is Jay Finesse and the Allums, Hayden and Mitchell in second and third heading around. You can see them just having a quick little chat there. You'd expect these two boys to work together.
Yeah, the cousins, you think they're going to work together. They're going to try and drop Finesse here in this next leg, but Finesse has got to be smart. He's going to know that these two boys are going to work together. He's got to make sure he sits there with them.
Have a look at the Gazelle in fourth place. James Lacey, one of the fastest in the business, as is Jackson Maynard. Our 3 leaders weren't really going all that quick. Blue cap, yellow stripe, Dan Collins there. The white cap with the maroon star, that is Bo Wheeler from Northcliffe. And Hayden White is there with the green cap, white quartered as well. So that is your top 7 as they head out to sea onto the ski. And we saw this is the moment when the race broke open in the women's race. Will we see the same thing here in the men's?
Well, there's certainly plenty of guys with lots of skills that have a lot of great paddling ahead of them. Hayden White, certainly one of them, Josh. A great, well-renowned board paddler and ski paddler. Look for him to come back through in this race.
And Dane Farrell from the Newport Club, somebody we haven't spoken about so far. He has been close but no cigar in a few of the rounds this summer. He finished second in round 1, either side of teammates Max Brooks and Kendrick Louis. So expect him to get back and involved. And our leaders, the pace is not on at the moment. They're tired. That swim took a lot out of these 3, but they're going to have to work together. I don't think trying to win the race here and now is going to make all that much of a difference in the long run. They've got to make sure they get to the final leg still in front.
They want to make sure that they control the race, Josh. They want to make sure they control their heart rate, make sure they're not putting too much into it just yet, because there's still plenty to come.
Bo Wheeler works his way through the gap, as does Dan Collins and Jackson Maynard. So a lot of big names chasing hard. And Hayden White's dropped off his clubmate there from Currumbin. He doesn't look all that comfortable at the moment. A quick look down, changes the stroke just a little bit. He's one of the technically best ski paddlers in the sport. Have a look, nice high arms. You can see the leg drive through his knees there. That's what gets the ski moving so quickly. But there's been a changing of the guard on the front of this race. Jay Finesse, Mitchell Allen and James Lacey has joined the top 3. So Hayden Allen, something's happened to him in the break there and he's dropped off the back of that pack, and that is not what you want at the moment. Nick Green chasing hard, as is Ollie Signorini from Newport and clubmate Max Brooks as well. Alex Wright's in there. So the field's so deep at the moment. Some of the names we've seen throughout the summer of surf are strung a long way back in this field.
Some great competitors, Josh, have found themselves in places they're not used to being in. Adam Simpson from Mount Maunganui, he's used to the cold water there. He's a New Zealand competitor. He's probably got a lot of work to do to get himself back into this race at this stage.
Definitely, but he's putting on a good showing at the moment, ahead of the likes of TJ Hendy and a couple of the West Australian boys as they start to make their way home. And Hayden Allen's found a wave and got himself back into the mix. Oh, it just fills up on him. He changes direction there, but Jay Finesse pushes out in front. Jay Finesse on the red and white ski. He's sitting on top of one, and then out the back the wave's on. The Jag is on. Dane Farrell is down it. Jackson Maynard is down it, and it looks like they will pick up second, third and fourth all together. Jay Finesse just has to keep his ski straight at the moment. Gemma Smith couldn't manage it, as Lizzie Wellborn did as well. They both came off when in the lead, but not Jay Finesse. A little high five there. Don't do it again. We saw him claim the race win in round 2 and then lose. He's a very relaxed character, old Jay Finesse, but he's doing the job out in front. You can claim it if you win, mate. Then the field coming hard down a wave. There's 6 on the wave behind him. So don't look now, Jay Finesse. You've got a lot of work to do if you want to claim round 5 of the Summer of Surf.
Jay Finesse has done well there, Josh, to hold his ski straight. We saw him, as you said, make a huge mistake at Redhead, cost his team the board relay. So perhaps he hasn't learned his lesson, that little wave to the camera.
It may come back to haunt him, but I doubt it at the moment. He turns the can, heads back out. Then Dane Farrell, James Lacey, Jackson Maynard, Bo Wheeler, Mitchell Allen and Hayden Allen all come together from left to right, and then around. Jackson Maynard skips ahead of the rest of the group as a little bit of crash and bash. They're so troublesome getting around that, especially when you're in the group. Dane Farrell's been left behind, but he's one of the best in the business, as has Hayden White. Somehow, the best ski paddler in the field is on the wave behind at the moment.
Have a look at him, Josh. The guy's a beast. Looks like Tarzan, paddles like Jane.
Oh, it's a big call, Jack. He does pretty well, Mr. Hayden White, and he'll get himself back into this one. Dan Collins, it's a good place to be on the wash of one of the best ski paddlers in the sport. He will get himself back into this race, I can guarantee it.
He's certainly got a lot of work to do from here. So do these boys. The chase pack is 6. They go up and over that one. They've got to negotiate this little break as they head out to sea. They've also got to negotiate these boys coming in.
What about that? The boys going out, split by the boys coming in. They take a look around. They're not used to that one, so things are a little wild down here in the south at Torquay. Adam Simpson's made the trip across the ditch, and he's finding out just how tough this summer of surf can be as he goes sideways there. Oh, he rolls off there, so a little bit loose for Adam Simpson, and Hayden White cops one in the face on the way back out. So that's not what you want if you're trying to get back into a race. He's still got time. The legs are taking about 15 minutes each, so he's got plenty of time if he wants to get back into it, as does Max Brooks. But they're going to have to start now, Jack. They're going to have to get moving if they want to win this race.
These boys would be expected to be up the front of these races in the summer of surf, and it's not all happening for them here today. Certainly not here at Torquay. Maybe the conditions, it could be the cold water, Josh. They might be a little bit off. They're not used to this temperature that we get down here at Torquay.
One man who seems to be having an absolute blast is Jay Finesse. Ask and you shall receive, Mr. Finesse. You've got yourself a wave and you're on the way home. One leg to go. Oh, will he hold on? The nose dips in just a little bit. He's going to start paddling any moment now to keep that ski straight, but no, he thinks he can hold on. He's going to have to negotiate a few of the back markers on the way in, and a huge performance there from Jay Finesse on the front. Turns that can, finds a wave. It doesn't get much better than that.
Jay Finesse has got a perfect opportunity to open up a gap here. James Lacey's come on the one behind. Hayden White still sitting out of that can, looking around. He needs some assistance from the ocean. He takes the rating up. He wants to get himself over a little bump. That may help him get back into the race.
He looks around, prays for something. Oh, and Hayden Allen there, his ski's going every different direction except on the way in. It looks like Hayden and Mitchell Allen may have come together there. Their skis are floating and they are swimming, so heartbreak. They were in second and third, and that is all over Red Rover from them. Dane Farrell's made his way to the beach, as has James Lacey. So Jay Finesse up and around. He's running a little bit quicker than he was in that first transition, isn't he? He knows this is go time. You can't go slow in transitions. It's the fourth leg of the Ironman.
He's got himself out in front, his confidence up, and he feels good at this point. Even though he's going into the final leg, James Lacey thinks, I've got a sniff here. I'm in this. I'm out in front. I don't want to allow these two chasers in James Lacey and Dane Farrell back in the race.
So Finesse in 1, Lacey and Farrell in 2. You'd think Farrell, the most experienced of our top 3, would be in the box seat. He had to pull out of Thurul with a calf injury. It looks like it's all come good in the ensuing weeks, and he is back into fine form at the moment. On the way out there on the green board, it's Farrell. Bo Wheeler's having a great summer, made the move from Bulli on the south coast of New South Wales up to Northcliffe on the Gold Coast, and he's in the mix in 4th place, as is Jackson Maynard in 5th from the Currumbin Club. One of the original Vikings. He's been there his entire life, loves racing for them. Bo Wheeler, we've seen him in board finals before. Jackson Maynard's the same. Hayden White is up in 6th. He's passed 4 guys in that ski leg.
I tell you what's interesting, Josh. We talk about mistakes all the time. Here comes one of them now. I think that's Mitchell Allen. He made a mistake in that ski leg on the way home, and it's cost him. He's gone from 2nd place, him and his cousin Hayden, back to 7th, 8th spot. They're a long way behind now.
What about Christmas dinner at their place next year? Hayden Allen will be absolutely filthy on Mitchell Allen for that one. They will not see eye to eye, that's for sure, but there's plenty of time left. We've seen enough changes of the lead already. James Lacey and Dane Farrell working together, but the gap is big. It's about the same gap Gemma Smith had in the women's race, with 2 good board paddlers chasing hard. Will we see more of the same? Tannen Linden looks like he's limping a little bit there. Has the potholes claimed another victim? Alex Wright and Nick Green hot on his heels, so both a couple of younger competitors. They go head-to-head in the under-19 age group. Bo Wheeler out flying on that board, and Jackson Maynard hot on his heels. Isaac Costello, this is the first time he's really got into the race at the moment. TJ Hendy's there in the mix. A couple of the Currumbin boys as well, so we're starting to get a lot further down in the field. 14, 15, 16 at the moment. These guys are going to need something absolutely miraculous if they're going to stand on the podium at the end of the day, as they head out to see Max Brooks, the New South Wales board race champion. He got a great wave there in the state titles. He'll need another one here if he's going to end up on the podium, but out to see Jay Finesse almost at that turning can. The gap is closing, but it's holding ever so slightly.
Finesse is certainly going to have the biggest advantage when he turns that can. He's going to have the first crack at those runners and waves on the way home. That can is tucked up close into the point, so there are waves coming through that help these boys on the way home.
We see the rating lift as he turns. Dane Farrell perfect around the can, ducks in nice and close, takes a look around, looks at the people chasing hard, up on the knees and goes for broke. The boys, they're continuously coming back to the right-hand side of the screen, Jack. That's the point coming into play. The waves break on the right, then they head across to the left, as we see that one on screen at the moment doing. So that's why they go right. They can pick them up that little bit earlier, get a little bit of white water, make sure they're on a wave and heading for home.
Those waves over to the right-hand side peak a lot earlier. They're quite fat over to the left. So if those boys make their way to the right of screen, they'll certainly pick up waves earlier than they will if they stay in the middle of the course.
Max Brooks chasing hard with Isaac Costello, two of the regulars in the Summer of Surf over the last couple of seasons, really trying to get themselves in the mix. But have a look at Jay Finesse here. He's coming up on a couple of competitors still completing the ski leg. So this is how good a performance from these guys out in front. Dane Farrell pushes on a runner. No, it fills up on him. He takes a quick look around and out to see James Lacey is going to get one. And out in front, Jay Finesse is on one as well. So Dane Farrell's in no man's land, and Jay Finesse is one leg from a victory. He'll run this one all the way to the beach as the two back markers try and push down at Dane Farrell on the left. James Lacey on the right. They're down it. They'll drop the heart rate. They know they've got one leg to go. Dane Farrell just mentioned something to James Lacey. What would he be saying at this point, Jack?
Oh, is it over? I've had enough. Dane Farrell, it's been a long race, mate, and there's still plenty of hard work ahead. You've got to try and close that gap on Jay Finesse now, and there's only one leg to go.
You'd expect the boys in second and third place to work together. They've got to give themselves a chance. You'd rather have a shot at first place than no shot at all, as Dane Farrell goes up to his elbows in surf, and James Lacey's up and running. He's a tall kid, he's only young, but he's a real star of the future.
I haven't seen Finesse work around a can on the beach like he has here today. There's certainly plenty of spring in his step with that lead out in front, Josh.
He claimed the grand final victory in the Summer of Surf, hasn't won one since. Will this be the day he gets back in the winner's circle as they start to get waves on the outside? It looks like Hayden White pushing down one, really trying to get back into this race, as is Mitchell Allen, Dan Collins, and Hayden Allen as well. Bo Wheeler heads around for the final time. They'll be saying thank God for that one, because it's almost over. Jackson Maynard gets around in fourth place. He's a great board paddler, but he's got a lot of work to do. And look at Jay Finesse down on the stomach. Tell us about that, Jack. He's not on the knees, maybe resting the legs for a possible run up the beach.
I'd say he would be. Jay Finesse is trying to kick those legs, trying to get the blood pumping through. He's got to negotiate these boys coming in on the waves at the moment, as does James Lacey chasing. So that's not easy, particularly at this stage of the race when you're fatigued. White water, you've got to get your popping, you've got to get your skills right, but you've also got to make sure you don't run into these boys coming down these waves.
If you can tell me who's going which way and where they're coming, you are an absolute genius, because there's people everywhere on the course at the moment, heading back out to sea, coming all the way in. Have a look at them all. They're all over the place. But in the center of your screen, the white and red board, he is your leader, Jay Finesse there, chasing hard. James Lacey and Dane Farrell. Max Brooks on the way in, one of the competitors still to round that orange turning can. And have a look at them there, Nick Green, Alex Wright, Isaac Costello, Tannen Linden, Max Brooks. They're down in about 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th place at the moment. So these boys aren't out of it, but they've got a lot of work to get back into it.
They're certainly not racing Jay Finesse at the moment out in front. These boys are fighting for the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every race counts, every place counts, Josh. You say it time and time again, but it really matters.
Especially for those guys, they've had a couple of good results. They need some backup results to take out the title. Jaden Erskine from Currumbin. Look at the look on his face. He just wants this one to be over. He doesn't look like he's enjoying it all that much. Nathan Gray heads around and back out to sea from Surfers Paradise. Then a couple of the younger competitors head around. These boys, this is their first time in the Summer of Surf, and they're battling in the big show. And out the back, James Lacey comes down a wave. This is going to get interesting for Jay Finesse. We can see him pushing hard on the red board to the left of screen. He looks around and James Lacey's down one, but Jay Finesse has found a runner. Jay Finesse has found just enough. We can barely see him from the wave in front, but he's pushing. That's great work from Jay Finesse to stay on this one. James Lacey, there's nothing he can do at this point except hope his wave catches up. Look at him. He stares him down. He hopes that it's going to come down this one. Dane Farrell's on one as well in third. He knows all he can do is pray that his wave moves faster than the boys in front of him, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Jay Finesse stands up. He wades across the little bank. The gap's too big. The gap's too big. He's too far in front. He claims his second Summer of Surf victory, and what a race to claim. The Jim Wall Classic in Torquay, round 5 of this Summer of Surf. Well deserved. It's one of the toughest races to win, and he's put on a tough performance to get there. Jay Finesse from the Manly Club claims round 5.
Well done, Jay Finesse. Certainly put on a show here for everyone down at Torquay. James Lacey, a gallant effort in second.
The best performance of James Lacey's career in the Summer of Surf so far. Dane Farrell very happy in third, but I think we're seeing a coming of age of James Lacey here, the Mermaid Club. He is really standing up and wanting to be counted this year. The race is on for 4th and 5th. We can see it looks like Bo Wheeler, Jackson Maynard as well. So there'll be a sprint on up the beach at the moment. Oh, Jackson Maynard goes down. That'll slow him up just a little bit. Dane Farrell turning around. He wants to watch the race up the sand. He'll cross the line in third place. Very happy with that. But look at the sprint. Jackson Maynard on the outside. Bo Wheeler on the inside. Oh, a little push and shove. Maynard gets there. Bo Wheeler screams in agony as he crosses the line. He did everything he could to grab 4th place there, but it just wasn't enough. Jay Finesse in first. James Lacey from Mermaid in second. Dane Farrell rounds out the podium in third. Allen and Linden sneak inside the top 8. Hayden Allen in 10th place will not be happy with that result after leading very early on. Murfitt, Gray, Signorini, Timperley, Kinsey. The list continues. These boys had a tough day in the office. Some of the best in the business at the front end. There is no shame in competing against these guys. Chris Bulch there from Clifton Beach in Tasmania will be very happy with that performance. And Adam Simpson, Jack Martin rounds us out.
Yeah, thanks. No, I'm so stoked to win. This race is such an honour, and guys like Matty Bev and Paulie have won this race before, so it's such an honour to join them in winning this race.
You've had a big day?
Yeah, big day. I won the ball this morning, and that got my confidence up, and ball was back end of the race here, so it gave me a lot of confidence going into that back end of the race with board last, and I just tried to hold off Dane and Lacey because they're such good ball paddlers. I knew they were coming for me.
Tricky conditions today, weren't they?
Yeah, really tricky. The course is a bit tricky. Like, you got guys going out, guys coming in. It's sort of a bit of a dodging game, but yeah, no, it's really tricky, and I'm glad I got away with the win.
A very happy Jay Finesse moves up into 6th place on the overall point score. James Lacey at the top. His 2nd place today certainly helped his cause. Hayden Allen and Jackson Maynard round out the podium. Wheeler, Farrell, Collins, Wright, Poole, Cuff and Hendy all in the top 16, all trying to get themselves into the mix and claim the